Nobody can hear, everybody can hear? Good to see everybody. It's nice to be back. Master Reed, thank you very much, sir. We've known each other a long time. I don't know if that's good or bad. You decide. But one thing, he called me last night and said, okay, we have a few speakers cancel. Can you speak? So I said, okay, what can I make up? But really, what I'd rather do, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I'll tell you what I do and what I'm going to do in 2025. If any of it helps you at all, take that, because my number 4 principle of life is help somebody every day. So if just one of you gets something, you've helped me with number 4. Everybody okay with that? So I see that a lot of we have stagnation in our industry, and the most reason is because of tradition. And simply tradition is peer pressure from dead people. That's the truth. They've been long gone, and we're still doing exactly what they said, exactly what they told us to do. And we can't get out of that. So I'd like to, anybody here ever been to India? Nobody's been to India? You have? I can't eat a steak there, right? No possible way I can eat a steak or a hamburger. So here's the deal. I'd like to kill some sacred cows, if it's okay with you. Okay, I don't really want to kill them, but I want you to know I'd like to. But I feel a little bit like a preacher that says, look, no fornication, no masturbation, no hysteration, none of that, but I can see this table over here. Too late for you guys. But I don't know about the rest of you if you're going to get anything out of this or not, but I'm just going to tell you what we're doing, because we are stuck. Some of you in a good place, you're doing $1 million. I look at this totally different than everybody else. I started from 1971. My first goal was to build instructors. Not to make money, not to build a big school, not to have students. My first goal, I was told at my wedding, I was leaving the next day for Florida, build instructors. And my Dick Reed, the guy that was my mentor, said, replace yourself within 30 days. Now, it took me longer than 30 days to replace myself. I did not want to get stuck in a job. And today, I don't want my instructors stuck in a job that I wouldn't do. What I want for myself, I want for them also. That means they've got to have real financial opportunity. They've got to have real freedom of time. They don't want to work more. How many show and tells do you want to do? How many calls do you want to do based on your leads? How much of that do you want to do? If you don't want to do it, guess what? They don't want to do it either. So my job's to find out how to pay them. I made the first year in 1971. I was so amazed. I made $100,000 net profit. And I called my instructor. He said, well, I told you to gross $100,000. And I didn't know the difference. I just know I paid tax on $100,000. That became my goal, to get every instructor, the chief instructor, that I developed at least $100,000 a year. Now I have people running one school making over $300,000. It's true, they make more in the school than I do. And that's fine with me, because what I want for myself, I want for them. I want them to have freedom of time, financial freedom. I want them to be physically fit. When they get to be 77 like me, I still want them to be moving, striking, training. So everything I'm going to tell you today about breaking some of your traditions, they may be helping you, they may be hurting you. I admit you don't know. So some of the sacred cows I'd like to slay. First is rank. The benefit of rank, what it means. We all have our own purpose. Most of that shit was made up by somebody. We didn't have rank in the beginning. You're either good or you're bad. How do you find out? You fought. And then somebody said, well, we can charge for testings, so let's have rank. Well, I know, because I was one of the guys in the beginning that we had testings for that purpose. And it's okay, but the truth of the matter is, I made my black belt. I started in December, and I made my black belt September that year in 9 months, 15 days. I turned out okay. I had 19 professional fights. I fought all over the world in point tournaments. I was okay. I wasn't the best. I wasn't the worst either. So how long does it take to make a black belt? That's one of the real stumbling blocks, I think, because if it had taken me 3.5, 4 years, or 17 years like in some jiu-jitsu programs, I don't know if I'd be here or not. And I damn sure wouldn't have developed over 1,200 schools. But the fact that they allowed me to accelerate my training, but I know you have this no, our black belts are really badasses. And so, for me, the black belt is a point of education, not a point of skill. If you want to get a skill ranking, get in the tournament. If you want to get a skill tournament, sign up for a kickboxing match. If you want to get a skill set, go in UFC. Or get in the street and have a fight. That's how you test your skill. But for me, all rank is only I have this much education. Like anybody, I don't know who your doctor is. You guys won't tell me, but some of you got a proctologist, right? Not all of you. If you're over 40, you should have one. So when those 100 doctors graduated, there was somebody at the top of the class and somebody at the bottom of the class. And they all got their certification, right? Same for black belts. You're going to have some if you get enough, you'll have some fantastic black belts and some that are, I'm glad you showed up. But sometimes we think our black belts are the best. I had a friend of mine, Parker Shelton. He was a very famous martial artist 100 years ago. And we were standing at the Battle of Atlanta, and we were standing there and had a bunch of black belts in the tournament. And he said, all those years? I said, yep. I said, how many black belts? He said, I've only made 8 black belts in the last 28 years. I said, Parker, you're the worst effing instructor I've ever met in my life. But he thought only having 8 was some big thing to brag about. And some of you may be the same way. But Parker's not here anymore, so maybe you better make some more black belts. So I would just say, don't have so many rules on that. Your stagnation by regulation is one of the worst things if you're trying to build an organization. You got these regulations that didn't come from you. It came from somebody in Japan or in Korea or in Omaha, where I was from. And they made up these regulations based on trying to control people. I don't have that desire at all to control people. I have the desire to understand rank. So for me, it takes you to train in one of my schools 300 hours, and then you'll be allowed to test for your black belt. And if I've done my job, you'll pass. You might not be the breast proctologist. You can still get your finger in. Okay, that's the whole thing. Those of you who don't have a proctologist, you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's okay. And the guys laughing the loudest, congratulations. Okay, so that's the first thing. Every 300 hours, first, second, and third degree, you're allowed to test for that next rank. But you have to take the classes, and you can earn the classes a lot of different ways. But I want training. Now, I want to slay the real dragon. How many of you have formalized testings every 2 months, every 3 months, something like that? Does 100% of your students test every time? The ones that don't test are in risk of dropping out. That's one of the problems. Because it's on the day that they had a vacation, or they didn't have enough classes, or they didn't have enough class, and you let them test. But none of that's fair, right? This guy's only got 12 classes, this guy's got 45, but it's testing day, so you can all test. Happens in your school whether you know it or not, unless you're really counting. What I said is, okay, when I started the Krav Maga program, I said, okay, every 30 classes in the class you're going to test. So now everybody had the exact same amount of training, and they tested on the exact, took about 7 minutes in the class, but even that was disruptive. But you know what? Nobody ever said, I missed the last testing. Nobody ever said, I didn't have enough classes to test. Nobody said, that guy only took 12 classes and I took 40. Never happened. And nobody missed the testing, because on their 30th class, they tested. You know what else happened when I switched to that? People came more often. People like to accelerate their rank promotions. They like to go faster than their friends. And when they go faster, their friends go faster, which means they come to class more often. So if they come to class more often, guess what? They're not doing something else. When they're not there, I assume they're doing something else that tries to get them. Trying to get somebody, they want them to bowl, they want them to play pickleball, whatever the hell that is. They want them to play something else. But, and I know I'm trying to learn pickleball too, that's why I hate it. Okay, so, but in any case, you'll have a testing, and then you'll spend 2 weeks getting ready for testing, and then after testing, you'll spend 2 weeks chasing the people down that missed it. Am I right or wrong? Come on, guys. You don't just let them go, right? So those 2 weeks, I totally missed doing business. I totally missed focusing on all the other students. I'm worried about the ones that missed because they were on vacation, or they didn't have enough class, or some other BS like that. So when I went to just 30 days, you test. Then even that became cumbersome.